can proceed. The meeting record will remain open for 5 legislative days so that members might submit any materials that they wish to be included therein. Our committee is charged with overseeing the day-to-day operations and accountability of the House, and that's a responsibility I know that each of us take very seriously. Back in October, we met to make needed changes to the member handbook as a part of a review of the expense reimbursement process to explore ways to strengthen the regulations governing official expenses. This markup is different in that we are doing some forward-looking and modernizing to help offices run more effectively, and it is this committee's responsibility to provide continued accountability. We, in conjunction with the House Committee on Ethics, House Leadership, and other entities like the CAO, work to ensure that hard-earned tax dollars are spent in the most transparent manner. We regularly review and update the regulations governing official resources, and we do this by working with House offices to determine their needs and how to best educate the offices when it comes to complying with the regulations we issue. Our committee also works with the CAO to help ensure compliance with our regulations and identify ways to improve public transparency of these expenditures. We are meeting on a number of housekeeping items that will help update our existing regulations to reflect current practice, to remove outdated terminology, and to clarify areas of confusion. The resolutions being considered by the committee today reflect the continued evaluation of House processes to best assist the House community. The first committee resolution before us updates the Guide to Outfitting and Maintaining an Office. And this guide, last updated in 2005, is a detailed collection of policies and regulations applied to the acquisition, transfer, disposal, and maintenance of furnishings, equipment, software, and related services provided to an office. We want to help offices have a very smooth transition so that they can get about the people's business as soon as possible. So this resolution will modernize policies and terminology relevant to member and committee offices and reflect current practices in the House. This will help guide members when setting up their offices and transferring office assets. The second committee resolution creates a new handbook to be used for eligible congressional member organizations. Previously, a large congressional member organization had to develop complicated administrative arrangements in regard to staffing. And at the start of the 114th Congress, the House voted to include a reform within House rules to pave the way for specific large organizations and to ease this administrative burden. For example, the Republican Study Committee and Congressional Black Caucus have very onerous rules to operate under when staffing their caucus and paying staff. And we worked in a bipartisan spirit on this resolution to make sure that they can staff their caucuses transparently, efficiently, and easily. This handbook allows for qualifying congressional member organizations to establish an account to pay for administration expenses as long as they meet certain parameters such as the membership size and comply with the regulations developed by the committee in accordance with the House rules. The third committee resolution we are considering today will provide a number of technical changes and clarifying language updates to help offices better understand the members' congressional handbook. These are good changes that will hopefully help improve compliance to the rules as well as to improve cost savings and efficiency. One in particular being a provision allowing qualifying members to share district offices with other members of the House, which will be approved by the committee on a case-by-case basis. This will allow members who, for example, share a town to have one central location to have the constituents of that town, to serve the constituents of that town. And in addition to being more efficient and helpful for the constituents, it also has the potential to save taxpayers' dollars. The fourth and final committee resolution before us will be amending the committee handbook. The committee handbook was last updated over a decade ago, and the vast majority of the changes we are proposing today merely reflect this lapse in time. These changes will provide updates to simply reflect current practice by updating the applicable House rules, statutes, and removing language which no longer applies. The resolution will update regulations pertaining to the use of the franc. It was important that the handbook be updated to reflect that many committees now communicate electronically through avenues like Facebook ads, e-newsletters, and social media. Committees can now use their funds to advertise their location and contact information as well as to update applicable use of mass communications. I certainly want to thank all the members of the committee for being here today and for their hard work on these resolutions. And I certainly want to thank our ranking member, Mr. Brady. These resolutions before us are the combined product of a true bipartisan effort where our staff has worked very hard to achieve and arrive at these changes. And I know I speak for the ranking member when I say that aiding this institution and ensuring that we have the right policies in place is our duty, one that each of us and certainly our staff members take seriously. So with that, I'd like to recognize the ranking member, Mr. Brady, for his opening statement.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you for holding this markup today. Rather than speak on each of the resolutions individually, I will submit longer comments for the record and just make a few comments here. I support these 4 resolutions. The updates to our handbooks and committee guides are long overdue. Some of the updates we are making here should have been made 10 years ago, so it's good that we are doing this today. I appreciate your working with my staff on these proposals. We have bipartisan agreement on all of them, and I will be supporting all of them. We approached this process wanting to make our house work better, and I think we did that. Common sense updates and some basic reforms will hopefully result in less work in the administrating of our offices, and some of these proposals could actually save some members money. I also support the ECMO proposal, and I am glad we consulted with Employment Council on the final draft. I would specifically like to thank Gloria Lett and Ann Rogers of the Clerk's Office for their help. This proposal makes things easier for these member organizations as we implement these new regulations. I hope that we could continue working together to resolve any unexpected issues. I look forward to continuing to work with you, my friend from Michigan, and urge my colleagues to support the resolution before us today. Thank you.
Thank the gentleman very much. Are there any other members that wish to have an opening statement? The chair recognizes Mr. Harper from Mississippi.
Thank you, Chairman Miller. I'd like to commend you and Ranking Member Brady on the strong show of bipartisanship represented by the handbooks which we're considering today. The update of these regulations is overdue, and there's a reason for that. Finding consensus on a group of regulations that affect the operations of over 435 member offices, all of the standing committees and several member organizations, is no easy task. I want to thank the staffs on both sides, majority and minority, for their commitment and tenacity in seeing this task through. I know you spent countless hours on probably countless versions of these regulations, and I want each of you to know that we appreciate your efforts. Most members will probably never see these regulations and would not likely read them if they did, perhaps, but their daily activities are governed by them, and it was important to get them right. So I thank everyone involved in this and the staff, and I yield back. Thank you.
Thank the gentleman for his comments. Any other members wish to make an opening statement? The gentleman from Chicago, excuse me, Illinois, not Chicago.
Now, those are fighting words where I come from, Madam Chairman. Less of an opening statement, but more of a comment, because I know this process is going to be very quick today. I want to thank you, the ranking member, and all the members of this committee, and especially the staff, for working so hard to do things to address some issues, as the ranking member said, should have been addressed, could have been addressed even years ago. Simple changes like allowing members to share district offices can really save taxpayer dollars. This is a great step forward. The committee, both sides, the staff worked very, very hard to address issues that are very, very important to staffers, not only here in Washington, but district staffers, you know, where I used to work. And the clarifications truly do help them do a better job on behalf of their member and on behalf of this institution. So thank you all again for your hard work. I truly appreciate it.
Thank the gentleman from Illinois for his comments. Any other member have any comment? Okay, I will now call before the committee our first agenda item, which is Committee Resolution 114, a committee resolution updating the guide to outfitting and maintaining an office of the U.S. House of Representatives. Without objection, the first reading of the resolution is dispensed with, and the resolution is considered read and open for amendment at any point. Last updated in 2005, this guide is a detailed collection of policies and regulations applicable to the acquisition, transfer, disposal, and maintenance of furnishings, equipment, software, and related services. The guide has been restructured to be more user-friendly and updated to reflect today's policy. Mr. Brady, do you have any statement on the resolution? Any other member wish to comment? Without that, then, I would move that the committee adopt the committee resolution. And the question is, on the motion to adopt the resolution, all members who are in favor of the resolution signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it, and the motion is agreed to. Without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid upon the table. I now call before the committee our second agenda item, Committee Resolution 114, a committee resolution creating the eligible congressional member organization handbook. Without objection, the first reading of the resolution is dispensed with, and the resolution is considered read and open for amendment at any point. Congressional member organizations that meet the necessary criteria will now be eligible for new spending accounts to pay for employees and their administrative functions. And these new regulations would provide a process for the transparent management of needed administrative accounts. Mr. Brady, you have any statement on the resolution? Any other members? With that, then, I would move the committee adopt the committee resolution, and the question is on the motion to adopt the resolution. All members who are in favor of the resolution signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Opinion of the chair, the ayes have it. The motion is agreed to, and without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid upon the table. I now call before the committee our third agenda item, Committee Resolution 114. This is a committee resolution updating the members' congressional handbook. Without objection, the first reading of the resolution is dispensed with, and the resolution is considered read and open for amendment at any point. This resolution will insert some clarifying language as well as regulations to mirror the previous resolution our committee just adopted. Of particular note, this resolution includes a provision allowing qualifying members to share district offices with other members of the House. This will be approved by the committee on a case-by-case basis. For a few members of the House, their congressional districts, again, share the same city or geographic area, so we think this is a common-sense addition to allow those members, under very clear and transparent guidelines, the option to share a district office. Mr. Brady, any statement on the resolution? Any other member have a comment? I actually have an amendment at the desk, and I will recognize myself. This amendment would change the member's handbook to harmonize it with current practice, and the amendment changes the fixed maximum mileage reimbursement rates in the member's handbook and requires the committee to issue yearly updates to the committee concerning the maximum mileage reimbursement rates. Almost every year, the GSA and the IRS change the maximum mileage reimbursement rates, and if the House varies from these rates, it can have income tax consequences. Accordingly, the committee has been issuing a Dear Colleague every year informing offices of the maximum rate. This amendment would adopt that practice back into our regulations. Does any member wish to speak on this amendment? If not, the question's on the amendment. I would ask for all members who are in favor of this to signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. With that, the amendment is agreed to. Are there any other amendments? Then I move that the committee adopt the committee resolution as amended. The question is on the motion to adopt the resolution. All the members in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. The opinion of the chairs, the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Motion is agreed to. And without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid upon the table. I now call before the committee our fourth agenda item, Committee Resolution 114, a committee resolution updating the committee handbook. Without objection, the first reading of the resolution is dispensed with, and the resolution is considered read and open for amendment at any point. Our committee last updated this handbook more than 10 years ago, and therefore this update we think is very well overdue. Most of the updates are to bring the handbook language in line with today's practices. Again, this and all of our resolutions offered today are part of a common sense approach and needed updates to ensure our regulations best assist offices while also protecting the taxpayer dollar. Mr. Brady, you have any comment on this resolution? Any other members? Much like the member's handbook, this change to the committee handbook will harmonize it with current practice and, again, reflect what the committee is doing each and every year. Any other comments from any of the members? If not, then I move that the committee adopt the committee resolution. Oh, I have to do the amendment, excuse me. Where am I at here? Oh, this is the next amendment, okay. This amendment would change the committee handbook to harmonize it with current practice. The amendment changes the fixed maximum mileage reimbursement rates in the member's handbook and again requires the committee to issue yearly updates to the community concerning the maximum mileage reimbursement. This is an amendment that I'm offering. The member handbook, the committee handbook. Okay, I've got it. Same language, one for the committee handbook, one for the member's handbook. Any member wish to speak to this amendment? If not, the question is on the amendment, and I ask for all the members who are in favor to signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. The opinion of the chair, the ayes have it. The ayes have it. The amendment is agreed to. Any other amendments? I would then move that the committee adopt the committee resolution as amended, and the question is on the motion to adopt the resolution. All members in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Opinion of the chair, the ayes have it. The ayes have it. And without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid upon the table. Any other questions or comments from any of the members before we adjourn? One of the quickest hearings in history. Okay, without objection, the meeting is adjourned.